I'm going to take you through a little bit of the basics of QuickBooks Online, just so you know how to navigate a little bit better, and then we'll kind of get into uh, the more detailed stuff of what you do in your job. So what always tricks people about QuickBooks Online is you have two different things. Come on, load. As it comes to your accounting, you have your register, which is where all the information that goes to your reports is stored. And then you also have your banking screen. And let me show you the difference between the two. So your banking screen, I'm going to do this all in the Southwest region for right now. Southwest region, you can see right here, that's where we are. If you want to choose your other regions, you can. But here we're in Southwest. So what I want to make really clear is on this screen in particular, these transactions are not in your register yet. You have to review them and assign them different information, which we'll get into, and then add them into your register. So what a lot of people who are new to QuickBooks Online is they think that this information is actually in their register. And if it's not in your register, then it's not in your reporting. It's not going to show up on your profit and loss statements. It's not going to show up anywhere else. So let me show you the register for the Southwest region. And I'll show you how to get to all these different ways to get these. But so this is your chart of accounts. And your register, your bank account registers, and you can see how it says register here, live in the thousands. So you can always, if you want to go quickly, go to thousands. But Southwest region register is right here. So these are all the transactions that Mr. Poirot has already reviewed in the banking screen and added into the register. So I just want to make a real clear clarification between those two. Does anybody have any questions in regards to that?
Yeah, this is
okay.
I have a question. How do we, or how does QuickBook, so how do the transactions get placed into that temporary holding place?
They're automatically downloaded from the bank. So Mr. Moreau has linked all your bank accounts to Bank of America. So as the transactions happen, they flow into QuickBooks automatically, and you just have to go look and make sure that they're categorized correctly, and then put them into the register. So that's an automatic process.
That includes deposits, I'm assuming.
That includes deposits, correct?
Okay.
Okay. No problem. So there's a few ways to get to your banking screen. You're always just going to come from banking. That's the easy way into your banking screen. I think it's really the only way into your banking screen. To get to your register, there's two ways. You can come from the banking screen. See right here, it says go to register. You click that, and it'll take you right into your register. If you want to go into your register, like say you're going to reconcile, you don't need to go to the banking screen. You just go to your dashboard. If you want to go directly to your register without going through the banking screen, you're going to come down here to accounting. You're going to click that. That's going to take you to your chart of accounts. And then you just choose which bank account that you're using. And again, we're using right now Southwest region. And there you go. And just so you know, guys, Moreau's recording this. So if I go too fast on something, or you need to come back and review when you're ready to start doing these things, hopefully you'll have this available for you in the future as well, this training. So let's look at a couple other quick things in QuickBooks. The place you're going to go when you're adding your transactions is this little plus up here. So whenever you're going to write a check, which is how you do your reimbursements, or whenever you're going to do a deposit, where's deposits? Bank deposits right here. That's how you're going to do your deposits. These will be pretty much primarily the two things that you use the most. The other thing you'll use is reconcile, and I'll show you where that is when we get there. The other thing I want to just show you really quickly is this. I always like to call it an hourglass, but it is a magnifying glass. Under here, it'll show you all the recent transactions that you did. So what this is really helpful for is if you do a transaction in banking and you click add and then you go, oh, darn it, I put the wrong categorization. You don't have to go dig through your register to find it. The last few transactions will be here and you can just click it and be able to fix whatever you need to fix quickly. So this will save you a lot of time, and you know, I'll go back and use it once or twice so you guys get used to that. So let's do a reimbursement. We don't need this anymore. So we're going to do a reimbursement real quick, and let me show you what I've created. I created one. This is as a test. So you know you're getting your reimbursement request from whoever. I did this for me. You know, obviously you know how these things are filled out. This particular reimbursement request is for a division meeting. It's for food for a division meeting. It has all the necessary information, and we will just assume that it's approved at this point. But so let's take a look at this one, and we're going to go ahead and do this reimbursement request. So the first thing you're going to do, I recommend you do the reimbursement requests the same day you cut the check in Bank of America. So what I did as regional finance manager is I do my reimbursement. They're supposed to be done 5 business days from when you receive them. So I would kind of set up a schedule of every 4 days. I would do all the reimbursement requests that I received. Now for you guys, everybody but Poiro, poor Poiro is, the Southwest region has a lot of reimbursement requests coming through. You guys might not have that issue in your other regions, but for us, you know, we get anywhere from 2 to 10 a week was my recollection. So I would just save them so I could just do a batch of them every 4 days. But let's just do this one. So we kind of went through this October 2nd, and let's just go ahead and do this reimbursement request. And let me see if I can find a way so we can see both screens at the same time. Okay. That'll work. Okay, so first thing you want to do to get a reimbursement request, we're assuming we have cut the check. You want to go ahead and go up to this plus. You're going to cut a check. And that is going to take you to a screen in a moment. It's like you to think right now. So this is the check screen. So the first thing you always want to do when you come to this screen, when you're doing reimbursement requests, is first make sure you're in the right region. Now our region is a little bit different because we do division accounts within our regions, but most of your regions don't do that. So I'm going to kind of pretend this is true. So we're in the Southwest region and we're in San Diego because the division right here is San Diego. The second thing you always want to do first is change the check number, and you want it to be bill pay. And that's assuming that you cut the check through the Bank of America portal. So that's the first 2 things you want to do is make sure that this is correct and make sure that this is correct. After you do that, go ahead and look for the payee, which is me. And there I am. No, I don't want to do that. So what that just asked me is, this is what happens in QuickBooks Online a lot, is it'll come up with the account, the description, all this information will be what the last reimbursement was. What that little pop-up did is it asked me if I want to pre-fill it with what the last reimbursement I received was, then I said no. It doesn't always ask you that. So you always make sure that you go through and you change all these every time you do this.
I have a question.
Shoot.
So do we always pay vendors or we can pay members?
You pay both. But you always need a reimbursement request that has come through that, that you double check with the division. This is how it worked in my region. I would get the reimbursement request through the division finance manager. The agreement with my finance managers was that they have gone through the procedure to get that reimbursement request approved by the DC. And so I knew if it was coming to me through the division finance manager that it was good. If a member of a division sent me a reimbursement request, I would send it back to the division finance manager to handle it and get it back to me. Just so that we're.
My question was more inside QuickBooks, because, for example, a lot of members, they're set up as vendors so we can get checks to them.
Yeah, the answer to that question, it doesn't matter. If they're set up as a vendor, fine. I would always try. So you'll see, you'll see that there are multiple entries where a prior finance manager might have set up a member as a vendor.
Right.
But what Moreau has done, my understanding is of what Moreau has done is anybody who has gone on to the MDI Mentor Discover Aspire website and has become a member through that website, they are in here as a member. So if you see multiple, like if Brian Dowling, if I drop that down and there's a member and a vendor, I would use the member if you can. Does that make sense? Did I ask the question?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to go through that process, if a reimbursement request came and it was over $500, and I'd get the RC approval. So you create the processes that work for your region. And if you have any questions around that or want my opinion, you're welcome to ask me. Okay, so here we are. Payment date is correct. Payment date is the same as the date. The payment date is important, and let me tell you why. There's a point where we can match, when you go back to the banking screen, if you've done this correctly and the information is flowed from Bank of America into QuickBooks and you've done this check, instead of it saying add, it'll say match. And that way you could just match it. And it's really easy. The things that have to be correct is what QuickBooks looks for that to match is the date and the amount. The date has to be within 5 days of when the check was deposited. And actually, that's not true. It has to either be before or 5 days within when the check is deposited, and the amount has to be exact. Well, let's just continue this one. So the account for division meeting, so you're going to get used to this scrolling of all this stuff, but the expenses are going to be down in the 5,000s. So you can just scroll down till you see the 5,000 numbers, and that's where your expenses are. There's going to be different types of expenses, but what you're going to look is for division specific, and there we are right here, division meeting expenses. So this would be a division meeting expense for food for my division meeting. So that's our account. I would put in the description, division meeting, oops. Okay, so now here's a really important thing that you guys, I can't stress this enough, so I'll probably say it twice. Anything that goes in the description has to go in the memo as well. And I'll tell you why. This is a quirk of QuickBooks Online I don't really like, but when you create your reports for your various DCs and RCs in your division finance managers to review, you're going to be pulling them through the register. You're basically going to create a report that's all the reconciled transactions in the register, and you're going to send that to your DCs or to whoever needs to approve your charges or review what's going on in their division. Now, what's really interesting is in QuickBooks reporting, it shows the description. In the QuickBooks register, it shows the memo. And I don't know why they did it that way, but you're going to want the description there so that when you drill down into the various P&Ls in the reporting, that you can see what it's for. So, oh, this is division meeting food. But the report you send to your DCs is going to show the memo. So what I always do is I just copy and paste whatever's in the description into the memo. And if you don't know the quick trick, if you do a Control-C and then Control-V, you can just do it really fast. But I just can't stress enough, what's going to happen if you don't put this stuff in the memo is you're going to send a report to your DCs for them to see their transaction history, and there's going to be no description of any of the stuff. So they're not going to know what it was for. They're not going to know it was a division. And they're just going to call you and say, what's this charge? What's this charge? What's this charge? So just make sure that you're always putting it in both places. So we know the amount of this. Let's scroll over so you guys can see. I think it's $56. Amount is 56. And then we come over to the class. And again, I'm gonna go down to Southwest Region. Southwest Region General. This is just a general San Diego charge for the division. Members, this is not that important to have. This is more for when Moreau and HoloCheck are doing their big deposits for dues. But we have the member, the name up here. Okay, so we'll stop right here. Are there any questions? Oh, location. I forgot location. Sorry. We want to do Southwest Region. Any questions? Okay, we'll do another one of these. I'm actually not gonna save this one because I just made this up. Do any of you on this phone call right now have a reimbursement request that you have not done yet?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then we'll do another quick one of these, one that actually is true, that HoloCheck sent me earlier today. And that is going to be, so he sent me this, maximize here, and this is from?
That's from me, Stein.
Okay, Stein. And the first question I'm going to ask you, Stein, is you are definitely going to get yourself a reimbursement request for this, correct?
Correct.
Okay, because what's really important about this position isn't just what you're putting in QuickBooks, but the paper trail that we keep. Is a 501c3. We have to keep everything together and make sure that all procedures are followed. So just make sure we'll do this one now, but make sure you get the reimbursement request. So
plus the receipt.
Go ahead.
Plus sign the receipts.
Yes. Thank you.
Right.
So this is Isaiah Robinson is the person requesting the reimbursement, I'm assuming?
Correct.
Okay, and this is for a regional training. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. This makes it easy for me. I have 3 computer screens in my office, so I can't remember stuff, so I have to be able to scroll. So I apologize. So here we go. We are going to add a check. Some people always want to go to bill, but it's not. You're adding a check. Okay, so Stein, I'm going to have you tell me what I'm putting where. So Stein, what region are you?
New England.
Okay.
09 Derek.
Yep. Okay. What's the next thing I do, Stein?
Well, you need the payee.
No, the next thing you do is you change the check number to bill pay. Always got to do that, or you'll forget. Okay. So now we do the payee. The payee's name is Robinson. It's Robis. There he is. So go ahead and click on. And there we have it. Perfect. So what's the next? So this is for regional training.
Right.
We would go down. You always go down to the 5,000s. It'll save you some time rather than just scrolling through and get to the 5,000s. And then we're going to come to, so this is a regional training. So here we have regional meeting expenses, right? Let me just double check on this guy. This looks like it's all food. Is that correct? Oh no, it's printed in.
No, there's some supplies, training supplies.
Great. Cool. And there's site rental. Okay, this is a good one. So what I always do, I'll tell you how I do it. Another way to do this really quickly is go like this, by the way. Actually, maybe that's not a good idea. So go down to food. I think it was 5230. Regional. So we know we have food. We know we have supplies.
Yes.
And it looks like we have site rental.
Now, all of this is really for internal purposes of the division, right? I mean, you at the MDI level, you don't care whether it's food or it's site rental in terms of the accounting.
Yeah, it's more for the accounting. I mean, if your DC doesn't care, your RC doesn't care, and I mean, you could probably put this all in as food if you wanted to. I just kind of I come from this background, so I'm kind of particular about it. So yes, it'll give your, what it will do is your RC and your DCs at some point have to create budgets, and they have to create budgets for, to give to Mr. Holocheck. And it gives them a better picture of how much they need to put in food, how much do they need to put in site rental, how much do they need to put in supplies, if it's broken out properly. Oh, that's division, space. Okay, so we have the three things. We know the amount of the site rental is 25. We know the printing and supplies. Let's do that. And we know we have food. Because got some good pizza at that regional meeting. I like it. Okay. So our amount here should match if we did it right. Oh, something's off.
You added an extra, yeah, it's 279.20.
279. Which one's up?
It's 38.72 plus 240.5 is 279.22. Yeah, that's the one.
There we go. Okay. And then this one, because there's various descriptions, I would put in food, supplies, and site rental. Okay. So what's
Okay.
important here? Where does this also have to go?
Memo.
Love it. So copy C, copy V, copy V, copy V. Copy C and copy V will be your friends. This we're going to go, so we're in New England. And this is for a regional event, correct? So
Yes.
I do events here. And then again, copy C, copy V as your friend. Save you time. They don't have to scroll. Location is,
New England.
and there we are. Any
Great.
questions?
So one thing, Dowling, the payment date on this particular one, like it was October 2nd because it was preset there. After the check number bill pay, you go to the payment date, or you see?
Yeah, so here's a trick with QuickBooks Online and the matching. And the matching is really important. And I'm hoping that I can do one. Hopefully I can do deposit where I could show you guys how it matches in the banking screen. And what QuickBooks does is if the payment date is before you before the check is deposited and the amount matches, it will match. It'll automatically match to this particular bill. It'll show up on the banking screen as Isaiah Robinson, and your description will be there, and it'll just be nice and pretty. If the payment date falls 5 or more days, actually I say 6 or more days after the check is deposited, it won't match. So that's why you always want to do them on the same day that you cut the check or before. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to save this. We're actually going to save this one.
So there's an issue with that. Where did that events class come from? Somebody created an events class, and classes are only for division names and region names. We don't really have an events class. That's what the GL account's for.
Well, I kind of disagree a little bit, Moreau, and let me show you why. And here's why. And maybe it's me just because I'm a stickler for this stuff, but for the Southwest region, we do have a lot of events, and the reason why we do that is we really need to get a perfect example is Serenity House. So in here, oh, it's gone. It used to be in there. Okay, we must have gotten rid of it over my time. So the reason why I say that is we have to know how much we brought in and how much we spent for Serenity House as a event itself. And we're no longer able to do that if we don't have a classification. We can't pull a report for that particular event. It's one of the things our division tries to do is be in the black on that particular event. So we have to sell more raffle tickets than we spend. And but if it's not there, it's not there. We'll figure out another way to do it.
Well, the best way to handle that with is really to do events by dates, and you can print out the reports you need by the date of the event.
Yeah.
If we start using classes for all kinds of events, we're going to end up with just way too many classes, and the reporting gets really confusing.
I agree. Yeah, the reason why that wouldn't work for Serenity House as an example is the raffle money comes in over a 5-month period. The events are the money spent for it happens over a 3 to 4 month period.
So Serenity House is a charity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you ought to, that's not really an event. That's a charitable event. That's why we set up the accounts for charitable events.
Got it. It's still coming out of the Southwest or the San Diego division money, though.
Understood. You can still put it under the
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying so there's a charitable event classification.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. Okay. You know what the truth of the matter is? Not my problem anymore. So I'll let Moreau and our division finance manager figure that out. Or sorry, Poirot. Okay. So let's see if we can find something that matches. So let me just go to banking. Let me look at the various divisions and see if someone has one in there. Ah, here we go. Who is this? This is
Is it me, Stein, again?
So see how these say match on them? So you've been entering in your so you entered these in already, correct?
Well, some, obviously, these are not entered.
Well, let me see. Hold on a second.
I mean, when I created the check, I entered the information.
Okay. So you've entered. So let me just find this really quick.
Alan, do you want me to email you the New England Region Bank account?
Yeah,
the match is showing up right there in the possible match.
Yeah. So he did. So you've created this sucker, and this looks perfect. Stein, this is exactly. So did you do this out of Bank of America bill pay, or did you write a check, a physical check?
I wrote a check.
Okay. Then this is perfect. The only thing I would change here is I would make sure that this tribal overnight is in here as well.
Right.
Other than that, this is fantastic. Okay, so you're on it. So I'll explain this to everybody else. Since he did this either before or within 5 days of the actual check of Cal actually depositing this check and it clearing, now we have this match. Let's just save and close. Yeah, let's go back to banking. So that's why this match, and it makes your life a lot easier because now you probably have a recollection of it, and then you can just hit the match, and that'll go straight into your register. Does that make sense? I won't do it for you. I'll do it later. Okay, let's do a deposit. Let me find one in Southwest. Well, this is a tricky one. That's a tricky one. Let me see if I can find another one. Ah, what is this? Oh, I don't want to get the merchant. Stay away from that.
Yeah. Don't play with that account.
No. I know better. Okay, I'm just hoping I can see a deposit in one of these. Yeah, so this person already filled that in. I want to find one that's not filled in. Yeah, so look, guys, you guys are on top of the deposit. So let's just do one. Oh, here we go. Oh no, I don't want to touch merchant. Okay, so let's just pretend that we have a deposit. Typically, when I was regional finance manager, the deposits would come into bank feeds before I would know that they happened. So basically, what's going to happen is you're usually going to do the deposits after it's already been deposited in your bank account. And the reason why that is my division finance managers would collect the money and they'd go make the deposit, and then maybe a day or two later would email me, but I'd usually see the deposit before they emailed me. So the way you do deposit is you come over to bank deposits. It's really, really similar to how we did the checks. It's just we're kind of going in reverse. The thing that you want to ignore is this existing payments. Just don't ever worry about that. Just bypass it altogether. What you're going to do is the same thing. I'm going to pretend we have a $100 deposit for Serenity House for the Southwest region. So I go to the Southwest region, San Diego. We'll use today's date, the currency, we're fine. We're going to come down here. So you're going to bypass this. This is something that gets captured when people do dues. It comes into this, and that's something for Moreau to play with. We're really never, ever going to select an existing payment. We're going to create new ones. So we're going to say who it was received from. Sometimes you might not even, like for Serenity House, we have so many donors. It's just a donor, so you might not even need to put something in there. But the account, again, we scroll down to the, actually we're now in, so the 4,000s are the income accounts. So you only want to be in the 4,000s when this happens. So you're basically going to come down and we're going to call this fundraising event income because that's what Serenity House raffle is. And we'll put in the description. Again, we always copy the description and put it in the memo. Payment method is not that important. If you want to put the reference number of the checks, you can. The amount will say $100. And the class will be, let's see if I can find it. If it was income coming in from one of your trainings, say you did basic leadership training, and this is there, you find it's going to be your division general. But for us, where is the?
It used to be there. You're right. It's gone.
Okay, not a worry. I'm just going to put this in San Diego General Division. Okay, so there you go. So again, the important thing here is date closest to the deposit, the actual deposit date. You're obviously going to be in U.S. dollars. Most of us on this phone call. You get the right region in there, which is Southwest Region, San Diego. The right class. And description and memo, always description and memo. Any questions around this? Okay, so let's say I put it as really $100 and I put in 110 by accident. And I press this button and I go back and I look back at my deposit and it's $100. I go, oh, I've screwed up. It's $100. That's where this this magnifying glass comes in handy because it'll show you the last few transactions that you did. So I can just go right back to this deposit. I don't have to search for it. And I come back and make it $100. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it because it's fake. Okay, so that's the gist of, those are the two biggest things that you're going to do is you're going to do deposits and checks. I'm going to go into reports for a little while, and then we'll go into reconciliations and wrap up with that. So reports is over here. So say your DC calls you and says, or your RC calls you and says, I need to create a budget for 2018. Can you send me the year to date of what we spent in 2017? And what you're gonna, this is of course, or let's say he says, send us what we spent in 2016. You're going to go to reports. The one you're going to use for this is profit and loss. And it really doesn't matter if you're cash or accrual. But what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to this customize button. So basically what this report is showing right now is all the activity for all of MDI between January 1st and October 2nd, which you see right there. We want to find out what happened in 2016 for San Diego Southwest region. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to choose the period I want. You can see that they give you a lot of presets. I'm going to choose last year. You're going to see that the dates just changed up here. And then you're going to come to this arrow right here that's filter. You come to the filter, you're going to come down and look for class. So this is why, the question always comes is, why are we doing the class? Why do we do the class? The reason why the class is so important on your bills and on your deposits and on your checks is that then we can sort our reporting by class. So right now we're going to click class, and I'm going to come down to, let's say the RCS for all the Southwest region. I can pick the Southwest region, and I'm going to choose everything that has to do with the Southwest region. Of course, we're a big region with a lot of divisions, so we have a lot of things to click. I probably could have picked an easier one. But see, now I've clicked everything within the Southwest region. If I just wanted to do San Diego, I could have just choose the ones for San Diego. If I just want to do Legacy Kings, I could just choose the ones for Legacy Kings. And then we're just going to hit Run Report. Now this is the Southwest region's P&L for 2016. So this is what you'd want to send off to your RC so he can do his budgeting. So right here's a little button for export. You have the button for print. I usually export this stuff into Excel. That gives them a little bit more play on if they want to put numbers next to it or do whatever they want. And here we have our Excel report that you can send to your RC. Any questions on that?
Stein again, I have a question. Do we get charged credit card processing fees, and do I care at the regional level about those things?
I think that's a question for Moreau. I think the answer is yes, we do get charged credit card processing fees, and no, you don't have to worry about it on a regional level.
Actually, the answer is no, you're not getting charged credit card processing fees at this time.
Okay. Thank you. So let me show the other report that you're going to send to, at least I tried to send these quarterly to our, to your division coordinators, or at least your division finance managers. And that is a transaction report, and that comes from your register. So I'll give an example of San Diego. I'm going to come down to San Diego's register right here. I'm going to view the register. And say San Diego's division finance manager, his name is Herrera. Herrera calls me up and says, can I review the activity of Q1 of 2017? The way you do that is through this screen. And let me, so right here, you're going to come to this export. And it's now exported the register. Now what I do is you kind of want to play with this a little bit to make it easier for them to read. And the way I do is I just kind of get rid of the things that don't matter to them. Then you'll see everything kind of falls out. So this is where again, this is where the San Diego, and then what I do is I just make it clear for that particular time that he's asking for. He's just asking for Q1. Oops. So here's his Q1 activity. So now that you could send this to him, he has the memo, which tells him what it was for. He has the accounts. There's all the information he needs to review what his transactions were for the quarter. And what I tried to do is I tried to get this out to them every quarter or at least through half the year so that they could just review their activity. Any questions about that? Beautiful. Okay, reconciliation. We can get out of here. I am going to reconcile. So in your register, we are now going to go to Southwest Region. I'm going to reconcile something for Mr. Poirot. And here we have, so here's a distinction in your register. So take a look at this column in particular. You'll see as I scroll down that you'll see different things in there. C means that it's cleared. And what cleared means is that it has flown through your banking screen. When you see the C and this screen, it looks like, means that this transaction has flowed through your banking screen. If you don't see a C, that means that we sent a check to Covenant Presbyterian Church in February, and it was never cashed. And because it was never cashed, it never went into your banking screen for you to review it. And this is something that you guys need to reconcile at the, as you reconcile. So basically you'd void this check, or you'd call Covenant Presbyterian Church or reissue them a new check, or talk to whoever did that event and ask them what's going on, whatever you need to do to figure this piece out. Because eventually this
Okay, so Dowling,
Yeah.
Okay, so this was something that the Covenant Presbyterian did never receive the check, and so another man wrote a check personally, and I reimbursed him. And so this thing has been here since basically it's been here for 7 months. So it's the church never did receive the check, and actually I had Bank of America put the $50 back into our account.
Perfect.
So
I'm seeing
should we
that
just delete this?
Yep, I'm seeing that right here. So here's the $50 coming back.
Right. So should we delete?
We'll just delete this transaction.
How do we do with that $50?
Yeah. So basically, you just go to edit. Come to the check. Don't know why it's running so slow. It's probably because we're all on the phone. We go down to here to more, and you just I would void it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna void it. Oops. And come back to our banking. Usually doesn't take this long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. And we want Southwest Region.
That was February 28th.
Oh, we were in the register. Sorry. Yeah, let's go to. Oh, I shouldn't have hit that yet. Getting ahead of myself. Let's not worry about this yet. Let's go back. And we now have a voided check here. See how it says voided?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's get back to these. This is where we've ended up reconciling to. So this has just been reconciled to December 30th, 2016. And you can see that by these are R's instead of the C's. So C means cleared, R means reconciled. If there's nothing there, that means it did not flow through the bank screen properly. And I know why. We run that same issue we ran last time, so we'll fix this.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me just do just a little bit of cleanup just really quick, guys, so we can do this. So what happened here, so I'll fix this one, then I'll show you what happened, because this is a common mistake, is people sometimes put the bank account, see how here, the bank account is the account, but this really needs to be what it was for. So this is where the bank account goes. This should always be a 4,000 account, not a 1,000 account. So let me just fix that. Oops. This is money they raised for their holiday party. Where's the 4,000s? Oh, they're at the top. So this is miscellaneous event income. So you see how it just, when you start doing this, a lot of people make that mistake because they see account just like what should say account up here, but what this should really say is categorization account. But this is where you tell it what you're spending it for, not where the money's come from.
Right.
And you'll see when you do that, what will happen is it'll be an in and out. See this $49? He categorized it to the same account. So it's here and then it pops up here. And so you just have to go, whenever you see this, you just have to go in, edit it, and just fix it. And honestly, the reason why you reconcile is to find issues like this. So that's what reconciling is all about. And this is going to be the 4,000s. This is installment payment for last LD. Okay, so this is legacy discovery.
So this is Sanchez.
Sure.
Tell me again why you use the 4,000 accounts in that screen.
Yeah. So in accounting, there's a chart of accounts, and in accounting, the chart of accounts always have a number that is associated with a certain set of accounting principles.
Yeah,
so you have the balance sheet, you have equity, you have
I get all that.
So the 4,000s in MDI's chart of accounts, the 4,000s are the income.
So it's an income account that has to offset the.
If you're making a deposit,
it's an income account.
99 times out of 100, it's going to come out of a 4,000 account. When you're writing a check, 9 times out of 1,000, no, I shouldn't say that because it could be a balance sheet account. But when you're writing a check, typically it's going to be a 5,000 account. It just helps you scroll through all that minutia if you're looking for the numbers.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, it looks like January looks all clean at this point, so let's go ahead and reconcile it. So here we come. What you need to have available when you reconcile is your bank statement. So here is the San Diego, or the this is Southwest Region's January bank statement. Okay, So let me get this off. Let me see if we can't get
Hey,
this.
Dowling?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if when we're going to have time to do this, but I got a couple other problems before we reconcile that I need attention on, and it's probably really simple things. But do you want to do that after you reconcile or do before?
Well, did it happen in January specifically? Because I was only going to do January.
Oh no, it didn't happen
Okay.
only in January.
Yeah. So let me do January. That way we can just finish this call up and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, so to reconcile, you're gonna be in your register of the account that you want to reconcile. And something that's really important is there anybody on this call besides Poirot who has sub accounts for their division? Okay, so for anybody in the future who's watching this training, if you have sub accounts for your division, and let me show you what that looks like. So here we have Southwest region and we have the different divisions underneath it. What looks like the Western region has some. If you have sub accounts, you only reconcile the regional account. You never reconcile the sub accounts. All the transactions that are in those sub accounts are also in the regional account. So you're only reconciling the regional account. So that was for our future RFMs. Okay, so we're going to go to reconcile. We're in the regional account. And here we go. Let's see, statement and balance, clear balance. So we're beginning balance. So first thing you want to look at is your beginning balance. So we are reconciling January. It's always going to show you where your last reconciliation is. So here's our beginning balance. And you can compare that to the beginning balance here. And we're in balance. So that's the first, that's like, yay. So the first thing that works. So we're going to want to edit some info. We want to put in our ending balance. Our ending balance, again, is right here. And you're going to put in that ending balance. It's going to be 41664.04. The statement ending date is January 31st. We have that right here, so we're good to go. And we save our editing info. So now, this is a new reconciliation screen. I haven't seen this one yet. Let's take a look. So what I always like to look is at deposits and other credits is 185. Deposits, 185. So we're right in line there. Where we're off is our withdrawals and debits. So see how it's automatically selected these for you? When you're off here, then you need to come back and redo it. So we know our deposits are right. So I kept our deposits selected, but our payments are off. So we need to get to this number right here. And so what I do is I first go to the ones. So that's what you have the statement open for. So we're going to come down here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm going to cheat here a little bit. So now I see our deposits are right here. I could see that here are the charges that flowed through that month. So we find 560.38. We find another 560.38. We find a $49, 150, 599, and let's see now. Oops. Where did that one go? There we go. And there we are. Now that we've went through the detail and selected the ones that we needed, we come up with a few things. One is our ending balance now ties. our withdrawals and checks tie, and our deposits tie. So we have now reconciled. So before we finish up here, let me just show you a few things. So this guy, this bank charge was probably reversed, or there's another reason, or it's going to come in on another month. If the rule of thumb is this, if you're reconciling and you are 4 months ahead and this item is still sitting here on January 1st and you're in another quarter, I would come back and delete it, because you don't
need
want
to check that.
Go ahead.
You actually need to check that. That's a difference. There's a difference in the check.
How am I balancing?
It's a service fee. You're not balanced.
Oh, there it is. You're right. I see it. You're right. Thank you. Because there's a service fee right there. I totally missed it. And we should now be in balance. Yep. Thank you, Mauro. Okay. So looks like Poirot did everything right that month, except for the couple things I just fixed. We're completely, all the transaction, there's nothing floating around, and we're good to go. So what you do is you just hit finish. You've now reconciled that particular month. If we come back to counting, come on, chart of accounts. And we come to our register. You will see now, hopefully, that January will have a little R by it. So all the transactions now in January have been reconciled. So, Poi, you just need to keep going from there.
All right.
And unless anybody has any questions, I think we've covered everything that was on the agenda. Hello, Chuck, you there?
Yes, I am. So, is any questions?
Yeah, well, I have a couple things that I need to work on, and I don't know if Dowling, you want to do it now. I was hoping to get it done now. There are 3 weird charges that I need to clear up.
Okay, let's take a look. It might help everybody to do. Does everybody have time?
Yeah,
I know a little bit past time.
I think it
Dowling,
will.
I have to run, but this is Sanchez. A quick question. Are you available if I have issues in the future with what you've said in reconciling my accounts?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
And what's really nice is I can do a Zoom with you, or we can look at it together, and I can just walk you through whatever you need.
Great, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you, excellent. Holocheck, I'm going to jump off.
Thank you very much, Sanchez.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dowling.
You got it. My pleasure.
Okay, Dowling, if we go to March, I just want to get going on this.
Okay.
If we go to March 30th, 2017, you'll see that there was a bill paid to Bruce Moss.
Okay, hey, let me get there first.
Okay.
Is this in the region? It'll be in the regional no matter what. Okay.
Right. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
March what?
All right. So March 30th.
Okay. Yes, right here.
Okay. Now, if you look at Bruce Moss there, okay, you see all that information, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is showing up. This was an expense done by the region. It was, and yet when I print out the register for Full Monty, this charge shows up as a Full Monty charge rather than a regional charge. And I can't figure out why that's happening.
Let's figure it out.
I've got like 3 of these that are all the same.
Okay. I think I know why, but let's see if I'm right. Because it's to Full Monty, not to the region.
Okay.
So it should be here.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh, it says check 187 also. I don't know why this was, okay, if I wanted to change it to bill pays there, you just,
Same deal. You're just gonna edit.
yeah. Okay,
Come in here. I'll just do it real quick since we're here, and then
all right.
actually look up your next.
Okay, the next one is probably the same mistake each time. On 7/6/17,
7/6/17. Okay.
okay, on 7/6/17, there was a credit that went through me to the Southwest. I can see right now it's a Southwest Division, so I can see that's probably the same problem.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's if you see that is now that's allocated to, for some reason it's allocated to Big Stick, and it should be to the Southwest region, income to the Southwest region.
Okay. What was it a credit for?
There was a bank fee that was refunded.
Okay. So I would actually, okay, whatever. It's $10. I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, up here, yeah, so you have it on.
Yeah, see, there it is, Big Stick. Okay, because it's not showing the whole thing. I probably clicked on it and not seeing that it had, okay, so that's exactly, it's the same problem each time.
Yeah.
Have one more, and I get to do that myself.
Okay, any other things?
Yeah, well, it's the same. It's probably the same problem. We go to May 9th, 2017.
Okay.
Okay, it's Raphael Frieden. It says now that should have been a full. It says it's pretty obvious to me now what I did wrong, but it says that it's a full Monty. It's allocated to Legacy Kings, but it was actually a full Monty expense.
So you just do this right there.
So when I look up there, I don't see the full printout of all those things. That's, I guess,
yep.
Part of why I was getting screwed
That's why
up.
you just, yeah, it's just an easy fix.
Yeah, so I think that one also is the same problem. It is, it's back to the bank. It's okay.
Y'all good?
I now see what I was doing. Yeah, I got it now. So
Okay.
it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm good. And that was all my issues right now.
Beautiful. Those are easy.
I just have those were my only issues. I wanted to get that done so that when I go to the regional meeting on Saturday, I'll have a statements for everybody.
Okay. And I will see you there, as a matter of fact. So.
All right. Very good.
Okay, gentlemen, I think that's it.